guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Vlogmas. I'm so excited to have you all joining me for this cozy sit down episode. I thought this would be really fun to do and just sit down and have a candid chat about the festivities, getting organised, things that I love to include and do in the lead up to Christmas. I thought we could get this filmed and posted for you all because I love to learn from different people on social media, things like TikTok, YouTube. I watch a lot of Vlogmas content and I always love to take tips and tricks with me for the festive period and just have like all the best tips and tricks in the lead up to Christmas. So I thought it would sit down and chat about how I prep, how I organise. Obviously I'm not somebody who cooks like the whole main meal, so I don't tend to prep everything, but I do have a heavy involvement in the Christmas period. It's going to be a little bit different this year because I'm spending Christmas at my boyfriend Jan's family initially, and then we're going the following day on Christmas Day and spending Christmas Day with my family until Boxing Day. So let's chat about it. Let's talk about what we do to kind of prep. Things are slightly different this year because I have 2 Christmases to attend, but what I typically do is have a lovely Christmas with my family, and we take the 23rd and the 24th to do all the major organisation, the food prep. I will link below a Vlogmas episode from last year that I just think sums up the entirety of the food prep side of things. So going to the shops, getting all the groceries, I love it. I kind of love the chaos and the craziness of that period of time, like 23rd, 24th, when everyone's kind of running around like headless chickens, getting everything sorted. But I'll link below a Vlogmas episode where me and my dad went and did all the Christmas errands. One thing that I love to do when prepping for Christmas is obviously looking back on my vlogs, because I feel like they're a really good opportunity to see things that I picked up, food I bought, things like that. But I know not everybody vlogs their entire Christmas, so I wanted to put you on to a hack, something that I have done since 2013. And actually this is my second book. This is a Christmas planner. Now I don't think these are stocked or sold anymore, unfortunately, which is such a shame because the Cat Kidson organisers were my absolute favourite. I have one which features like reindeer on in a previous one, but I filled that one up, and again I started it in 2013, so I would write and document lots of different things, but this is my newer version. And just to kind of give you a breakdown as to what is in here, I have everything from wrapping paper that I used in like different wrapping or kind of had featured. I have cute little fun stickers. I've got Christmas cards from friends. I literally don't throw away anything, I keep it all. I also love to go through the book and make lists, so I'd write things like to-do lists down. One of my favorites actually, which is so handy, is the to buy section, and each year I will plan out what I'm going to be buying for people. This book in particular actually is fantastic because it features things like cooking times and tips and tricks for making the most out of your Christmas season and just getting really organised. I think having a book and having something that you can kind of dedicate to all your Christmas plans year in, year out would be my recommendation. What I'll try and do is see if I can find some other options, alternatives for Christmas planners, and link them below, because I honestly would be so lost without this book and I love it so much. But one of the things that I love to do in the lead up, and it's something that actually my great grandmother used to do, and then it kind of got passed down generation to generation, is to write down all the different things about Christmas that year. So whether you've planned something or you've written in the planner, this year I've been very bad and not even started writing in it, so I think I'm going to do that today at some point. But what I love to do is write all the different things in the lead up to Christmas from just different days. And I've got a Christmas 2021 in here. That was the first year that I used this particular one because I filled up, so I would have done 2013 to 2020 in the previous book, but it's always really fun to look back on. My goodness, I've got a Christmas of first, I've got all these different pages, and I'll write in all the different things that we got up to, and it just enables me to firstly be accountable, Also keep the memories together and alive. But one of my favourite things to do is write down things of significance, like prices of things, timings, if there was anything that I forgot to do that I don't want to forget for the following year, if there's anything that was like a total waste of money and like either no one ate it, or it just wasn't like great, or it didn't go down well, or maybe there's something that I don't want to forget, and make sure that I remember for the following year. And honestly, I just love to do it in the lead up to Christmas. It is so much fun. So I thought we could just sit and maybe I'll read out one of the different Christmases in. Let's see which one I should read. I remember this day actually. This is from 2022, and it was a day that I went Christmas shopping with my dad. And this was a year where actually Christmas didn't feel massively festive, but I know it was because I was traveling abroad loads. But I thought I would read out this page because I'm just deciding to pick out this page. But yeah, it's just so nice to have these memories. So I put Christmas shopping in Brighton. It was Saturday 10th of December 2022, which is spooky because today is the 8th, so that is very similar time of year, 2 years ago. It says, finally felt festive today shopping for the last of my Christmas gifts. Me and Dad headed into Brighton to pick up all the goods, and Brighton did not disappoint. I forgot how good it is for presents. I think it could be better than London. It has everything and is far less stressful. We stopped at Costa Coffee first and had vegan pigs in blankets, bat with a Terry's chocolate orange hot chocolate. It was epic. We then bought some gifts for Mum. I bought Mum gift wrap in red ribbon and a few gifts from Paperchase. I can't believe this is the first year that Paperchase didn't do their assorted cards and boxes. They were such good value, and that's really sad because actually Paperchase no longer exists anymore. So it feels like, yeah, a memory that will be forever stored in this diary. And one of my favorite things was the Paperchase like assorted cards. You used to get for £6 initially, and then it turned to £8 in its final years, but you could get 50 cards for £8, and they were amazing. Some of them were really like high value, expensive cards, and I used to just buy a ton of them. I kind of wish I bought more in the moment and bought them when I saw them, but yeah, I have a few collections of them still, so I still need to get through all my Christmas cards, but that's such a nice memory to have. Yeah, so I wrote, they were such good value. I popped into Lush. I love that store so much. The products are amazing. We then went to Penhaligon's, and the guy serving me reminded me exactly of Rowan Atkinson in Love Actually. He made Luke's gift so special. My day then finished in the best way when we got chatting to the barista in Pret, and I asked her about the macaroon hot chocolate. She was so sweet, and when I went to pay, she said, I'd love to give this to you on the house. It made me feel quite emotional. I was so grateful for such a treat. Me and Dad had the best day out together. Brighton really was so Christmassy and festive. Yeah, it's just so nice to have these memories in here. And I recommend, if you have someone who loves to diarise things, this is such a great gift idea as well, because it kind of just puts everything together. But there's all sorts in here. I really need to be filling up this diary more. But there's a section at the back where I keep things like gift tags, stickers, anything that's just a special memory. It's a really lovely way to store those things in there. One thing I also love to do, and it features in the Christmas planner that I have, is a list of people's names and what you bought them each year, because one of my biggest fears is repeating a gift or being a bit lackluster when it comes to the thoughtfulness and intention behind each gift that I give. And I would say that when it comes to Christmas gifts, I personally prefer to buy in person and in store. So most importantly, I think around Christmas time, whether we like it or not, we say it's the food, we say it's the other things, the decorations, etc. I think a big part of prepping for Christmas is the gift giving. Working out who you're going to give your gifts to is essential, and I would kind of do this well in advance. I'm the type of person that starts to prep Christmas in August, and that probably sounds crazy, but when I know that I'm going to be spending money on certain individuals, I will consider whether an item is on sale or whether the item is available and it's part of my budget for that month. I tend to scatter Christmas gifts periodically throughout from August to December. That way I'm not going absolutely crazy and spending my entire income on gifts alone, because it is an expensive time. You want to do fun things like activities and festivals and fairs and you know, do all the festive things in the lead up to Christmas. But one of the biggest things is obviously the gift giving. So my typical plan of action is to actually start my gift giving in August, but that's not going to be very helpful for you guys if you're starting to plan and just buy all your gifts now. But if you are somebody who is panic buying, I would suggest that you list out every single individual that you're going to be purchasing for, including unexpected gifts. So what I kind of class in that category is when somebody gives you a gift and you weren't expecting it and you weren't budgeting for it, having something as a backup gift to kind of return the favour. I think those types of gifts are fantastic to have as a just in case. And it kind of brings me on to something else, which I'll touch on in a minute. But in those instances, having a gift pre-wrapped, ready to go, that's a general gift that you can kind of just write their name on the tag, that is always a really, really useful thing to have. So anything from bottles of alcohol, if somebody is drinking or likes to have a tipple or two, having a bottle on hand, wrapped and ready to go, is a really great way to kind of plan for the unexpected during the festive season. When it comes to gift giving for family and friends, loved ones that you know you're going to be planning on spending money on, having a clear idea of either something that they want that's within your budget, or something that I would advise is having a list of shops from that person. So asking that person a couple of questions just to kind of gauge their interests, what they're kind of loving at the moment, whether they're listening to like any types of music or they're influenced by anything, whether it's like home interiors because they've recently moved into a new home, or maybe they want to kind of do more activity-based things. Having a list of details from that person can make gift giving so much easier, stop you spending unnecessarily, and stick within your budget. So yeah, I think that is a really great way to nail your Christmas shopping. Going back onto the topic of unexpected gifts, again, I feel like we're in December now, so it kind of defeats the purpose, but having a box of stuff that you can assign throughout the year for emergency gifting. So great examples of emergency gifts are things like candles or home products, things that you can collect throughout the year, and maybe you'll pick them up during sales or in the January sales. That's a great time to kind of get organised for the following year. And actually, a lot of the gifts that I'm giving this year, would you believe, are things that I bought in January this year, sorry, or end of December last year, because I wanted to get my head in gear for this Christmas. And it really has paid dividends, because I've been able to kind of spend a little bit more on other gifts because I've factored it across so many months, and it hasn't dented the budget as much as spending all that money in December when it's an already expensive month. Yeah, so definitely factor that in. I would also take into consideration things like other people's birthdays, or there's a few people in my family where their birthday falls very close to Christmas. Maybe thinking about how you can budget around that as well. So if you have got a friend or family member who is a December birthday or a January birthday or even a November birthday, just kind of factoring in the budget and just considering like, okay, I spent X amount, I'm just going to consider how much I can spend for the December period as well. But I love to give gifts, and I find it really, really hard to hold back. If I see something that I think is a nice gift for someone, I tend to spend the money anyway. It's probably why I go well out of my budget every single year, but I love to give gifts. So that's another thing. I would also say in the gift buying department, having things like wrapping paper and cards and stuff like that stocked up. So when it comes, and also sellotape, not forgetting the sellotape, particularly the sellotape like this. I've literally got it to hand because after this I'm going to be wrapping up gifts. Having a weighted sellotape roll is going to change your life. I love it so much. I have used this non-stop. It cost me like £6 and I use it all the time. It makes a huge difference. So in line with that, gift wrapping and wrapping paper, just having a variety, because again, you don't want to get to that stage where you've exhausted yourself buying gifts, you've got a couple of rolls of wrapping paper, you sit yourself down, you go through all the faff of laying everything out, and then you start to wrap your gifts and you run out of wrapping paper. Like, there's nothing more devastating. And I always find the years that that has happened to me, I could not for the life of me find that wrapping paper again. So if you like a particular style of wrapping paper, or you're going for a theme each year, like I typically do, I buy that wrapping paper in bulk, and I buy, you know, a lot of it, because I know that 2 meters is not going to go very far, particularly if you've got slightly bigger gifts or you're wrapping for lots of different individuals. I tend to kind of stick to a dedicated roll of wrapping paper per person. It's not to say that I'm going to use it all on that person, but it just kind of is a bit of a what's the word, like barrier to avoiding any mishaps with kind of mismatched wrapping paper, because that kind of indicates that you haven't really planned or kind of thought about all eventualities. But I think each year having dedicated rolls of wrapping paper for people just makes my life and probably your life so much easier. So that is a tip that I'm going to share. Moving on to the food prep for the big day, I think again this is something that you can really start to do around November time. The food starts to come in, stock for things like crisps and drinks and sweet treats within reason. Make sure you're looking at the dates of stuff. But typically a lot of the Christmas food is preserved and will last you until after Christmas, so it's fantastic. Things like party season food, again, bulk buy it now, so over the Christmas period you can kind of use it and not feel like you're spending crazy amounts and going out of budget for maybe like that weekly shop that week. You could just use up a nice couple of party season bits and have them in the freezer stocked up. I have been taste testing a lot of Aldi Christmas like bites and Christmas little things from the freezer section, and we've been kind of trying them actually as dinner options, and it's great for when you have unexpected guests or you have a party or something that you're organising and you want to have something festive, but it just kind of saves you from overspending in the month of December. If you can buy those things in the lead up, that's great. If not, I know I'm putting this video out in December, so it's kind of counterintuitive, but just kind of think ahead basically. Think, will I be hosting anyone? Am I likely to have unexpected visitors? Am I likely to you know, have someone pop by and give a card, but would it be nice to offer them a mince pie or have just something on tap basically ready for when those unexpected guests occur and arrive at your house? I think it's just a nice way to kind of consider all options. I know as well, because this year technically I'm going to be a guest at my family open house, I'm going to be bringing like food to the house. I want to have food ready that I can bring to assist the host, because there is nothing better than when you're hosting something and somebody you've invited brings something to kind of help along with the food, and just not expecting that that person is going to host absolutely everything. Obviously they will consider that and factor that in, but I think it's really thoughtful when you go above and beyond and you kind of bring something to an event, or bring a drink to an event, bring a gift to an event. It's just nice to be somebody who kind of considers all those things. So that is a big tip. Sticking to the food as well, I would definitely say that having dedicated recipes that are tried and tested. If you haven't tried and tested them and you're hosting, do a little bit of trial and error testing. Even if it's on like a small batch scale, make those cookies, prep certain things in advance if you can. If you're doing things like sweet treats, or you're prepping for hosting a big party, or doing your own Christmas Day for the first time, prep. There is nothing wrong with preparing and using that freezer to your advantage. If you're somebody who doesn't have masses of freezer space, maybe just like starting to bulk up on ingredients for the big day, that can really help you and prevent you from going to the shops one day and there being nothing in sight, because it's always the case with things that spoil very quickly, like cream and different like cooking ingredients like brandy butter. For some reason every Christmas people just go crazy, they panic and they're buying their cream at last minute and there's no cream in sight. Just having an organised Christmas list food wise is going to be so helpful for you. I feel like I'm totally rambling on, but these are different tips and tricks that I picked up along the way. I would say last thing on the food is watch food like TV shows and TV channels. Food Network is fantastic. I'm a big lover of Jamie Oliver. I think he's fantastic. He's like my absolute favourite. Ina Garten as well. I love to rewatch, and also Nigella. I love to rewatch those like old school like videos and TV shows from when I grew up, because I literally lived and breathed, particularly Jamie Oliver, in my childhood. So anything that kind of brings nostalgia to your Christmas, do it, because it will make such a difference. You'll feel that feeling of the festiveness, and honestly it will just be amazing. So go back to those recipes that you have tried before, you love, and are classics, because you can't go wrong. I think another way that you can really truly prep for the Christmas season is to write a list of things that are non-negotiables for you around Christmas time. So is there a particular TV series that you love to watch? Is there a Christmas special that rings true, like Only Fools and Horses or Gavin and Stacey? Write those things down into a list. Is it, you know, making sure you make time for a family evening and having quality street chocolates for the evening? Do those things, make a list of those non-negotiables that mean so much to you and do them. Make an active effort, because Christmas really does fly by. It is one of those periods that just, I don't know what happens. The advent calendars come out and suddenly it's Christmas. So just making an effort to ticking all those little things off that kind of make Christmas feel special to you, that is really important. I know there's Christmas films that I tend to put off because I want to watch them nearer the time, and then you run out of time. So watch the Christmas films, make time for it, and just really enjoy the festive period. I would say as well, with things like Christmas markets, Winter Wonderland, anything like that, get it in sooner rather than later, because again, it just gets super busy. The closer you get to Christmas, it just inevitably becomes a really busy time. And I would say, if you can, and you're organised and you've got your gifts sorted, wrap them as soon as you get them. Like, dedicate a weekend or an evening after work, some time to just sit and wrap everything, because again, there is nothing worse or more stressful than trying to wrap a million presents the night before Christmas only for them to all be unwrapped. There's a beauty in having them under the tree. I think it's really special. It makes for such a nice Christmas experience and Christmas period if the Christmas presents are all wrapped and you get to enjoy the fullness and excitement of Christmas presents under the tree. So I would say dedicating time to wrapping as soon as you can, guys. That is pretty much everything I would say for tips and tricks, advice for the big day. I know that there will probably be more things, and I'm sure I will share them in upcoming videos, but I would love to hear from you. Please let me know if you have any tips, things that you love to do that make your Christmas season run smoothly. We love all the advice and the tips, so comment below please, and help someone out who is watching this video today. Thank you so much once again for deciding to tune into my video. I know this is probably quite a long one, but I thought we could have a little chit chat and yeah, share the tips and the excitement and the joy that is around Christmas time. Make sure you're subscribed, like this video, and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new vlog. Bye.